friends, if you're brand new here, let us know in the comments that you're brand new. If you've just got started with HighLevel, there's a couple of hundred of you that just got started for the first time with your trial. And what you're going to learn today is going to be a lot of fun and information, but we're going to get you the resources to get your trial up and running, right? So if you've got a brand new trial account with us, we're going to get you the help to get up and running so you could use it to the best of the way you want to use it. And if you're an existing customer of ours, thanks for joining us. I just got to run through some basic items here to make sure that everyone is in the up and up, and then we're going to get into Frank's training in depth. And if you've been to a workshop that Frank and I have done together, he's gone more techie now than before, and it's actually pretty neat from looking at the perspective to the action steps. So there's a snapshot that's going to be sent out to everybody. There are instructions and pretty detailed formula for you to follow to make this work. And Frank, for those that haven't had a chance to get to meet you or know you, or where are you from?
I'm originally from the beautiful state of Georgia, but I've lived here in La Jolla, California for 20 years, just about. And that's where I am now, out on these mean streets
Nice.
of La Jolla, California, a little tiny suburb in San Diego.
And anyone from that area, let us know in the comments if you're anywhere near, where Frank's at. Definitely don't knock on his door or anything. He doesn't. I'm not inviting you to say hi in person or anything, but we're just curious to see where are our guests from on the map. Awesome. We'll let those comments come in. So Frank, for those that are just getting familiar with HighLevel, maybe they heard about it through a friend, they got an email through someone that they're following on YouTube, or through some sort of a group. Could you share a little bit about how you got into the industry and what kept you staying in the industry till now?
Oh my God, man. Well, I got started in 1999, which is like a billion years in internet time. I was a door-to-door credit card machine salesman. I have no professional credentials of any kind, by the way, like no education, no degree. I mean, I went to high school, you know what I mean? But like nothing fancy. So I randomly saw an ad in 1999 by a dude that said, I made a bunch of money on the internet and I have a course and you can buy it. And I bought it and was like, this actually makes pretty good sense. And ever since then I was hooked, you know. I was like, well, this is a real thing. This whole marketing stuff is real. And yeah, I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the craft of writing sales copy and, making content. And I just enjoy it and probably aren't very well, or I'm not very well suited to do anything else. It's not like I could be the greeter at Walmart or something like, okay, welcome to Walmart, go home, we're closed. That would be my greeting. So yeah, I got lucky.
And I know we got a lot of new people, and they're probably like wondering, like, this guy's very humorous and very creative with how he presents himself. As you get to know Frank these next 2 days, you'll understand why he's done very well in his marketing career over decades with the courses that he's made. Some of the coolest top names in the industry partner with him, and he partners with them. And there's this camaraderie in the marketing world, especially as things are moving faster, of people truly exchanging ideas and strategies on how do they give the audience what they need to stay engaged with marketing and not just let all the AI robots take it over. So, Frank, if you're cool with it, do you mind maybe breaking down, maybe kicking us off here with the slides that you've put together, and then breaking down the agenda? And while you're doing that, I just want to share with the audience, SaaSpreneurship is a high level branded way of doing business where you could white label HighLevel, completely white label it, and position it in your local market as a tool to solve problems that local business owners have. And a HighLevel is sometimes compared to some of the big CRMs that are out there as being one up because of the flexibility as well as uh, the feature stack that's included in it that a lot charge extra for. So there's a lot of upsells in a lot of these other CRMs, but I'll let you kind of see that for yourself. But Frank, when you're ready to share, we're ready to go.
All right, man, let's see if we can properly and successfully share the screen. It looks like it worked. Is that thing
Yeah,
working?
we just gotta do the expansion mode on that one.
Yeah.
Just
All
yep,
right.
there we go. I
Don't
love
know
it.
that everywhere.
Look, can
Okay.
you? I see it clear on my end. I gotta If you could see the screen clear on your end, it's wide enough, it's good. Let us know in the comments. Throw a thumbs up. Good to go. There might be a little bit of a delay, but I think we're good. All right, Frank, what do we
Okay.
got, man?
Let's see if I can drive this thing. Well, there we go. All right. Apparently, I have to use my mouse to drive it, but that's all right. Don't want to accidentally click on the thing. So, my name is Frank Kern. Thank you all for coming. I think we've already done the self-aggrandizing introduction stuff. Let's get to work. Y'all don't care about me. You care about like getting leads and stuff. So, this is made for folks who want leads and sales from social media. And you don't have to be a social media person in order to do this. I'm not a social media person. I'm terrible at it. I really can't stand it, actually. I'm a very antisocial hermit weirdo that stays in this little tiny room and types all day at the computer. So, and I'm old and I'm not much to look at. So I think if I can do this, it's any barriers are down, any barriers to entry. So here's what we're going to did. That's the proper way to say that. I misspelled it on the slide there. Today, I'm going to show you the big picture. I don't want to get too techy and I don't want to bog you down with anything. This really isn't overly technical anyway. But today I want to show you the big picture, how everything works. I want to prove to you that it works because you shouldn't believe us marketers. You should demand proof. So I'll give it to you. And I want to prove to you that followers don't matter because the yeah, but I don't have followers thing is a understandable concern. Thankfully, it's not really that important anymore. And if I do my job right, I'll simplify this process for you. So you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. This isn't really that big of a deal. This is pretty doable. And I'll help you figure out what to say in your content. And our focus throughout this workshop will be on making written content, but you can make whatever kind of content you want. I think when videos get involved, people get freaked out and we start to, become self-conscious. So we'll focus on written stuff. And also want to show you how to get in front of the right people for free. It says the perfect people in this slide. That sounds a little elitist, but you know what I mean. So here's how this thing works, the whole system. All right. So you read the page and everything about how I got all those free leads and conversations and customers, and it still works. It's awesome. So here's the process. And I'm going to put like every little step is going to be a little square on here. And I think there's like 10 squares. But for every square where the word automatically is mentioned, you don't actually have to do anything. So keep that in mind as you see the squares. Okay. You post something cool and then you offer a lead magnet if they comment. Lead magnet being a free thing, So it's like, here's a picture of some cookies. Let me know if you want my cookie recipe. That's a very simplified version of it, but that's kind of how it works. So then someone sees it, and if they comment, now they could comment anything. You can set it up where they have to comment a certain word. I don't care. I just make it work if they comment anything at all. And when they do, the system that I built on HighLevel, which is like the greatest automated system in the world, I think they're awesome. When they make a comment, the system will DM them. It'll get their email and it'll send them the lead magnet. Like you don't have to do anything, which is cool. And then it'll look to see if they click the lead magnet. And if you can't give them any value if they don't actually click the free stuff they requested from you. So that's really important, So make sure they click it. And then when they do click it, it'll wait a little while, give them some time to, read your free report or whatever it is you're giving away. And then it'll be like, hey, I got this paid stuff if you want it. And it'll keep asking them if they have any interest in your stuff until they reply with a yes or no. All right. Now, we haven't sent them a sales letter or anything. You've just simply given them something for free and then said, hey, I have this other thing that you might like. Let me know if you want some information. That's all we're doing. Okay. So that does that automatically. Then I don't know how they did this at HighLevel. I just like do the boxes and arrows and stuff, but it'll read their reply to you, like and tell it. It'll know if they're interested or not. Like it's called intent and sentiment analysis, I think is the technical term. I'm kind of making that up, but they do computer stuff, and they know if the person said yes or no or maybe or whatever, and if they're interested in your stuff, then it'll send them a link to your sales page or to your calendar or to whatever you want. And all of this is automated. So the only thing that we've actually done with all of these squares so far that was, manual is you created the post on social media. So all this other stuff is happening automatically behind the scenes. All right. So it sends them a link, So think about this. They saw the cool content from you. It said, let me know if you want a free thing, a free report about how to grow tomatoes. You send them the tomato gardening report. It knows that they clicked the report. And then it says, hey, thanks for checking out that report. I hope you liked it. If you're really serious about growing tomatoes, I have this tomato course you might like. Let me know if you're interested and I'll send you the details. And they say, sure. And then your system automatically sends them to your sales page about the tomato gardening thing. That's where we're at right now. All of that's automated. It's crazy. So now we're going to look, see if they like check out your sales page or not, and it'll know when they check it out. And if they don't check it out, it'll be like, hey man, just making sure you got that information you requested. All right. And then when they check it out, if they don't automatically buy, which most people won't at first, that's normal. It'll follow up and see if they have questions. It'll be like, hey, thanks for checking out my tomato gardening course. I'm really glad that you did. Let me know if you have any questions about it. That's it, really simple. And then if they don't answer, it'll keep following up like, hey, just making sure everything's cool. I saw that you checked out the tomato thingy. Let me know if you need any help or have any questions. And then when they write you back with questions, this is where the magic happens. It knows and it can tell you and you can answer them. And that's where the sales happen. When a real person actually responds to them. Because when they've gone through all of this, when they've seen your content, you've helped them and they like it and they ask for the free thing and the free thing is cool. And then you're like, hey, I have this other thing. Maybe you might like it. You want me to send you the information? And they say yes. And then they go look at it. And then they have questions and you answer them. That is a billion light years ahead of what everyone else is doing because everyone else is just pummeling the hell out of them with like, buy my stuff now or it's the end of the world. So this little process, all of it's automated with the exception of you actually answering their questions. Technically, you could get AI to do it, but I like to have a real person do it. And then you making the post, everything else is completely automatic. It's amazing. So that's how it works. And here's why it works. All right. Number one, it's not about the followers. It is good to have like a, affinity with your market and a good brand and everything, but that's not really what drives this. The reason this is working right now is twofold. Number one, the psychology behind it, but number two, they changed the game on us in a good way, and they being Facebook and Instagram, which I mean, if I could, I'll just call it Facebook because it's the same company. But this is a screenshot from Instagram's one of their pages from their site. So I'm trying to say. And the main content dude basically says in here that we've been working on a new way to rank recommendations. That means a new way to show your stuff to people to give all creators an equal chance of breaking through. Every piece of eligible content blah, 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 is shown to a small audience that we think will enjoy it, regardless of whether they follow the account that posted it or not. So now they'll show your stuff to random people that they think are going to like your stuff, even if you have absolutely no presence at all. And if the people that they show it to engage with it, they'll keep showing it to more people, which they didn't used to do. The
Hey
way you
Frank,
might go ahead.
I just want to get a poll from the audience here. How many of you are doing something like what Frank has shared? How many of you are pushing content out there where it creates engagement, and then you're either booking appointments behind the scenes through Messenger, or you're sending them a link, a private link? How many of you are doing that now? And if you're on Facebook, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, we'll check all of them to get a good size polling. But let us know if you're doing it. How is it working for you? And how frequent do you do it? Like, just give us some context around how it's going, and why it's working for you. And I think what'll happen here is, and Frank, we did this last time where when the audience started sharing with us what they're doing now and what's working and what's not, we started making tweaks on our end because some people will say that, well, Frank could get away with it because that's Frank Kern and he has a following and he has people that know him, and I'm just brand new. We saw this last time. It was like that was like the biggest excuse. So I just want to make sure that y'all know that what Frank's sharing with you and what he's going over is the structure. And then we're going to give you what to implement at your level, brand new. Whether you're brand new or not, you're going to have a brand new level to work with. So, Frank, as those come in, I'll put a little tally together, give you some notes. But you were going to walk us through the old versus the new. Um,
That's
lead us
funny
on.
when you have all those people that know him. I was like, all these people that should know better, really. to be listening to me. Like, what are y'all thinking? Why, after all these years, it's still me. Like, what are you, it's not going to get any better. Anyway, if you've tried this before and it like sucked up until, a year or so, give or take, here's why. Like the old way, this used to be how everything worked. Like you make the content, yay, and then Facebook, I'm just going to just keep saying Facebook because it's easier. They would show it to your followers. Okay. Well, yay, maybe. And then maybe they would show it to people that followed folks that were similar to you, maybe. And all right. And that was like it. So if you didn't have followers, you really were kind of hosed. But now you make content, they'll show it to some of your followers, and this is why followers really aren't that important. And I'll prove it in a second, but they'll show it to some of them. So you could have like 9 billion followers, and they might show it to like 1% of them. So it's like, okay. But then they also show it to people who consume similar content to yours, which is different. So it used to be they would maybe show it to people that followed other people that are similar to you, but since the following algorithm has changed, now they'll show your stuff to people who consume similar content. And then if they consume your content, meaning if they like engage in it, reply, like, forward, whatever, then it'll show it to more people, regardless of whether or not you have any followers. So that's kind of cool. And here's some of the proof here. So this is a reel on the Instagram. I think most of these early ones are Instagram posts just because I had it up on my phone. It was easy to take the screenshot. But look at how many non-followers they showed this reel to. I'll show you examples of the posts here in a minute. So there you go. Here's another one, 39% non-followers. And my reels, incidentally, that I'm showing you right now, they're just static images. They're not videos. So you can turn a picture into a reel just by posting it as a reel. I learned that when I started doing this. And then here's like another example. This is just a regular image post, but this is what I mean of like not making fancy stuff. This is a handwritten piece of paper, with like that my 20-year-old daughter wrote for me. She just took pictures of the construction paper that she wrote on, and this is it. And look how many leads it got, 165 comments. It's awesome. All right. So here's another example. And like if you were to read that entire post, it's just a picture and then a whole bunch of written content under it. And that's an Instagram post only with 339 comments. When someone comments, that's when it triggers the whole automated system that I'm telling you about. Here's another example. This is a post made it in September, and it's just a picture of a message that I sent. It showed it to 14.8% of the people that saw it were not following my page. It worked pretty well. And here's just more examples of it doesn't really matter how many followers you have. As you can see, they show it to non-followers now. Here's some early Facebook posts, just to give you an example. And the content that we're going to be making together, I can't say it enough. It's not about you. It doesn't have to be videos. It doesn't have to be selfies. Notice that dude in that picture is not me. But it's all about the content and the value you give them. So there's that one. And if we look at the results of this one, it showed it to, well, I blocked it off, 40 something percent of the people that saw it didn't follow me, which is crazy. So 54,000 views of that picture. It's not a video, it's a picture. I don't know why they call it views. 49-ish%, whatever the math is there. Again, I covered up the percentage with the arrow. They're not even my followers. So it's like, oh my God, man, this is awesome. And it got 1,000 something comments. Remember, every comment triggers the automated stuff that I built for you. So yay, it ain't got to be you. Doesn't matter if you have followers or not. It's just words and stuff. That's all we're doing here. So I like all of that. Just to sort of prove the point, here's another example of a post from February. A lot of written content, no picture of me at all, no video, just a screenshot of words right there on the page. 349 comments. Each comment counts as a lead to me. Here's another one. No picture of me, nothing, just pure value. Let me know if you want some free stuff. There's the amount of comments that it got. Here's another one. No picture of Frank. You get it, right? So it doesn't have to be about us. That's the thing that I'm trying to really drive home. This one got 1,000 something comments. I'll take that. That's pretty good, All right. So, like John said earlier, he's like, a big yeah, but is, yeah, but you've got a lot of followers and stuff. And that's why this works for you, is because you have magic powers. I don't have magic powers. And the followers, really, it doesn't matter. So they show it to strangers. And I don't know why I'm so completely redundant in this, but you can see how many people are not following me that are getting shown these posts, which is great. So, like, hot diggity. That one was really good, 44%. That was that Ogilvy one. All right. So, why is this happening? Um, this method is working, this whole approach of like make written content, don't worry about putting yourself in there. Don't worry about making videos. Don't worry about being fancy. Just post valuable written stuff that people can actually benefit from. The reason this approach is working, and the reason the whole automated comment reply and like, hey, let me know if you're interested, that whole back and forth thing, the reason it works isn't because of any magical tech stuff, is because of humans and how humans have changed, and more specifically, what they no longer like. So what we've got here is what we got here is an AI backlash, which is a little bit ironic because I'm really into AI, but there's a massive AI backlash in the world in terms of like what people are tired of seeing. So AI is awesome. We all know this. It's great, but marketers are lazy. We also know this. I happen to be a marketer, so I'm allowed to say that. Um, and what happens is we got AI, and then we've got marketers, and we're like, okay, I'm going to make 90 billion posts with AI. And what ends up happening is the content sucks. So they just make a metric butt ton of really crappy content that nobody likes. So like that causes the rest of the world, the audience, to not have any more trust. They're like, ew, this sucks. This is clearly not that person creating this, and I feel kind of cheated to a degree, and that's not good. We don't want to give anyone that experience. And on the other hand, that's awesome because other people are giving them that experience, and all you have to do is not be terrible. So that's pretty good. That's thing number one. Another thing is influencer blindness. This is a real thing, by the way. Um, all influencers, that is a very broad statement. I know. Okay. So this, it's not quite as broad as everybody's copying everybody else, but it's still a very broad statement. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. But to a degree, everybody's pretty much copying everybody else. I mean, Hormozy is copied so much that I forgot the video editing software, but there's some video editing platform where a style of what do you call them? Subtitles or captions. It's literally called Hormozy captions in the video software, for God's sake. So that's how much he's copying, or rather, people are copying him. And after a while, this is morbidly inappropriate. I don't know why I put that. But after a while, no matter what you got, it all looks the same. Like people can't tell the influencers apart because they're all so identical in the content and the presentation, etc. And all of this is great, by the way. We want this to happen. We want everybody to be standing by their fancy cars. If you don't have a fancy car and you're not standing by one, you're like, oh man, this is the end for me. I'm doomed. No, you're not. This is an advantage to you because everyone else is doing that and you don't have to. Here's another one is the volume myth. We think that we've got to be putting out 9,000 pieces of content a day. And while that might be helpful if it was really, really good content, it's also very hard. It's hard for me anyway. I've got the AD and the HD, which combined is ADHD, and it's really no joke. So I don't have the concentration to put out 9 million pieces of content per day. So we think, more content equals more money, and it's not. That was a trick question. In reality, more value equals more money. And I believe this to be true anyways, my experience, like John said earlier at the beginning, it's like, hey, results not typical, your head could explode. So I don't want to make any sort of claim, but in my experience, income is directly proportional to the amount of value you provide the marketplace. So all we got to really do is just like, instead of making 9,000 posts, just try to be the most valuable person in the marketplace, which thanks to everyone screwing it up with AI is becoming easier and easier. So we don't want a higher volume of a dude copying a dude that's copying another dude that's got 17 gold Lamborghinis, and I don't know, a unicorn or whatever. Like you don't have to do that. That's actually going backwards, which is good. And fewer good posts are a whole lot better than a lot of bad posts. So like really get that through because one of the roadblocks with creating content is like, oh man, I don't want to be creating content all the time. You don't have to. You don't have to make a ton of content. Just make it good. A lot of low value content brands you as low value. So think about that. Next time you're like, oh, I gotta make a post. Hey everybody, whatever. Like no need for that. Just make sure that it's good. Another
Oh,
one I want to help you get through. Did I interrupt you or were you about to say something?
I was gonna say, Frank, with uh, with your experience and IP, AI, and framework, right? There's an overwhelming um, expectation. I got to use AI for this, and I have to put it on video with AI, and I just can't do the way I used to do it. Maybe there's this inner talk that might be happening with the pressure of using AI. And then IP. I'm not cool enough. I don't have a cool enough haircut. I'm not wearing something cool enough or fancy, or I don't have a designer bag on, or I'm not showing myself in front of a cool big living room. And then you have the framework that different influencers, professionals, industry marketers, however you want to call it, are pushing out, whether it's regurgitated or remixed. With your students and what you're doing in your communities and just in what you're doing with some of the bigger leaders behind the scenes in the industry, how are y'all discussing like the balancing it out with automations and what the new folks that are coming into the industry are trying to do?
I think there's nothing more important than the message. So the message is absolutely critical, and we can translate that into redneck because I am from the great state of Georgia. To the stuff you say is ultimately the most important part of the equation. Like we do need to follow up with people when, like, if they request a free thing, we need to make sure they get the free thing, and they're probably not going to buy anything unless we offer them stuff. But if the very top of that process begins with a message that you put out into your marketplace, and if the message is no good, then everything else is broken. Like if it were a car, like everything is dependent on the gasoline in the engine. Let's pretend there's not electric cars. I'm old. So it's all dependent on the fuel. If there's no fuel, there is no, it doesn't matter what kind of engine you've got or what kind of, accessories are in the car. So yeah, it's always the messaging is the top of the food chain there. And it doesn't matter if you use AI or not, as long as the result of what you create is actually beneficial and helpful, and that's important. Like don't if you're using AI, don't let it just run the show because it's going to write garbage. You have to, know what you're doing with that. But yeah, hopefully that answers the question.
I appreciate it. Yeah. And for the audience that's here, could you let us know, are you using AI for your copy content? Are you using video AI? Is there a particular framework you're using that's working for you? Share in the comments below. I want to also get that to Frank. So as we get into day two, we could sprinkle in some of these different strategies and see how this snapshot, because the snapshot is going to be a big part of what's going to make all this work with your high level account or your high level trial. So, Frank, back to you, man. I just wanted to make sure we had enough of the secret sauce ingredients as well as what people want in their meal together.
Got it. Yeah. I'll walk you through, by the way, content creation made like redneck friendly in a minute. It's like I can't keep up with all this stuff. I've got to have everything like put the blue one on the blue one. It's got to be like that for me. So I'll show y'all like how to figure out what to say. It's really pretty simple. So anyway, we think we got to do videos. You don't. Marketers make videos, and since that's what we're seeing, we think we have to make videos, and we just don't have to written posts, like actual long form. It doesn't even have to be super long form, but where you just write stuff, they're extremely valuable and they work. Like all the stuff that I showed you, everything that you read about, all those leads and everything, they came from written posts, which rarely had any picture of me and typically just had like a title. I would open up Canva and I'd like write out the title and that would be it. Or I would take pictures of a message on my phone or something, and that would be the image for the post. So valuable content, especially like in terms of content that creates value, real is the new cool. So it used to be like cool was like, hey man, I'm cool and I got like stuff and I got what's the word? Not what's the word for credibility? I'm blanking on it. Whatever, clout. I got clout. Therefore, I am important, and that was the old equation. And now the new equation is this real. And that's wonderful because AI has written so much horrible stuff that if you're just authentic and real, then you're probably going to stand out, which is very good. And here's a great example of that. So this looks cooler on mobile, by the way, but I wanted to even show you the imperfect version of it. I started testing this in September of last year. I'm a slow learner, so it took me until November to really get serious about it. And the first tests were carousel posts where my daughter, she's 20 now, would write the messaging on construction paper, and then they would, swipe through the messaging, and you can see the post itself has valuable content, which was handwritten. And it says, hey, let me know if you want to try the coolest email tool ever for free. Got 432 comments on that. You know what the coolest email tool is? HighLevel. I'll just send them a link to my HighLevel affiliate link and be like, all right, man, this is what I use. Check them out. They're awesome. That was it. That was the whole post. Handwritten stuff on construction paper. No picture of me, nothing fancy. I didn't use AI to generate the handwritten stuff. It takes longer to use AI to do something like that than it does just to write it down on a piece of paper. So that particular post, amazing. 38,000 people saw it, 443 comments. Wacky, right? No idea what people are clicking on, by the way. There was no link in there, so no clue what the other clicks mean. Don't care. All right. Now, if we compare this, because back then I was testing fancy stuff as well, like everyone else did, with like really well edited CapCut style videos and everything. Here's this. It's a pretty good video, 57 seconds. They showed it to 1,800 people. 74 people engaged with it in total. It's terrible. Yeah. So, like, which would you rather have, 38,000 or 1,800? Like, 38,000 will work better for me. Well, do real stuff. Quit trying to be like everybody else. It's not working. At least it didn't for me. Maybe I'm special. You never know. And here's another thing that'll help you before we get into the like, here's what to do in terms of like how to put content together. Please stop trying to come up with the perfect avatar and the perfect offer. Um, it slows you down and it hurts you, and there's really no such thing. So we think, okay, I'll get started doing this as soon as I know exactly what my perfect offer is, or exactly who the perfect person is, or whatever. It's a single dude that likes, I don't know, bass fishing, and they're 65 years old, and they have 14 pairs of jeans. That's my perfect customer avatar. Like, you don't have to do that anymore. Try this instead. Figure out what you really like talking about. If you're like at the place of I don't know what to say at all, you know what I mean? Like, what do you like talking about? And then go and look and see, are there a bunch of other people that like talking about the same stuff? And if the answer is yes, then you're like, well, what do they want in general? And then you figure out what it is they want, and then you figure out how they can get it, and then you just make your content about how they can get what they want. If you do that, it is actually useful information. You'll get plenty of engagement and people will like it, and they'll probably buy stuff from you if you offer it to them because you've helped them get what they want prior to you asking them for money. So here's like a better explanation of it in terms of content creation. So instead of thinking of the perfect person and what is my offer and all of this, we have to shift our focus to them. All right. So the first thing we do is you choose an overall theme that your market and you are both mutually interested in. All right. So I'm a marketing person. So my theme of content is marketing and stuff. It's the professional term for it, according to the International Directory of Totally Made Up Professional Terms. So that's my theme, marketing and stuff. Okay. So maybe your theme is something else, like, I don't know, home repair. Doesn't matter, but the theme is like the general like subject matter that you're into talking about. And within that theme, there are going to be several topics. I'm going to use my own example because I can't really think of how to do it with someone else's example. So within the theme of marketing and stuff, we got all kinds of subjects that I can make content about, like email marketing, how to write emails, how to get them delivered, how to automate stuff using HighLevel, which their automation is amazing with email, branding stuff, sales copy, what do you say on your web page, your video sales letters, things like that, ads, like within the world of marketing and stuff, there's all these different topics that I can make content about that would help my market get what they want. What they want is more customers consistently. All right. So kind of reverse engineering. Well, how can I get them that? Through marketing. What can we talk about within marketing? Well, I know a lot about these four things. All right. So now I've got my main topics that I can talk about or write about. And that brings us to the actual content itself. There's really only three types of content. And I don't mean the way it's presented, I mean just the category of it. So don't worry about videos versus written versus, but let's just pretend it's all written just to make things easier. There's three really types of it. The first one is news and reviews. All right. So you'll see that in the AI world all the time. Tons of content creators are out there constantly, this week in AI. There's like 9 million of them. It's great. The next one is how to. This is one of my go-to moves is the old how to do stuff trick. Demonstrate you can help people by actually helping them. That's a good content type. And the third one is stories. And the story could be about something that you experienced, or it could be about something you read about. It doesn't have to be about you. So your story could be, I read this article in the Harvard Business Review that says XYZ. So here's how to do XYZ. That's a story. But those are the only three categories of conveying your content to people: news and reviews, how to, or stories. So don't, overthink any of that stuff. Just pick one. And when in doubt, go the how to route because everybody loves how to. All right. So the way to do this is instead of trying to make nine, pieces of content per day or whatever, and trying to be everywhere, instead of doing all of that, which is exhausting and overwhelming and unpleasant unless you're like amazing, um, we want to be sure that you're doing it consistently. So we want to make it easy. All right. So instead of being everywhere, don't worry about doing that. You don't have to be everywhere. You have to be consistent. So the thing to do is to choose one platform, which in our case should be Facebook/Instagram. And really, if you had to choose one of those, it would be Facebook. It's got better reach. More buyers are on there. So choose a platform and just commit to making content there until it's easy to do it every day. And I'm still at the one platform level, and I've been doing this since November consistently, and I'm relatively consistent on Facebook and Instagram, and horribly inconsistent on, well, only YouTube. It's the only other platform I mess around with. So choose one, and in our case, let's just do Facebook and Instagram because they have the automated stuff. Right, the snapshot that I built for you works with Facebook and Instagram and automates the comments and everything. Can't really automate that stuff on YouTube, so we'll agree. Let's just choose Facebook and Instagram and try to make one post per day on that. And here's what I learned after doing this since November. I still do it. This is not about this one massive, like, heroic assault on the marketplace that you're going to do. It's just by staying consistent. So small daily actions done consistently over time create compounding results. So if you start this today and you make a post today, you might not see a whole lot of stuff happening. But if you do it every day and you come back and look at what's happened over the past 30 days, you'll be like, oh my God, I ended up with all these leads. This is amazing. So that's a really big deal. So on November 11th of last year, clearly, I made a commitment to make one social media post per weekday. One. And all of these have been written posts primarily. I have made like a couple videos, but not really, just words. I think maybe like 4 videos or something, just messing around because I get bored. All right. Here's what happened in the first 3 days. You would think I would have learned by now. So this was great. November 11th through November 14th. I'm like all gung ho. I'm like, I'm going to do it, because I tested a little bit in September, October. I was like, dang, this is pretty good. I'm going to like make a thing around this. So first 3 days, 334 results right there. That's on Facebook. The other one's on Instagram, I believe, one or the other. This is screenshots taken from within HighLevel. It's 500 leads total, which is like great. Got 5 sales, no sales funnel, nothing fancy at all. And I'm the worst ever because my commitment was not very committed. It lasted about 2 weeks. So I did one post per day for about 2 weeks, and then I like got flaky. And between November 11th and February 11th, I made a total of 46 posts. So which is like almost every other day, give or take, like one every other day. So much for perfectionism. But during that time, remember 46 posts in total, had 5,379 conversations, and 4,949 emails were given to me from those conversations. And here's what's crazy. The automated thingy that I built for you, when somebody replies, or rather, I'm sorry, when somebody comments on one of your posts, you'll send them a DM that says, "Hey, making sure it's cool, to send you the stuff, making sure you want the stuff." They'll say yes. And then it'll ask them for their email address. If they don't give you their email address, it'll still message them the free stuff, like we don't want to bait and switch anybody. So I ended up having like 80% of the people that commented ended up giving me their email address, even though they didn't have to, which is really freaking cool. And I'll tell you why in a minute, why it's working like this. Oh, 188 of those folks ended up purchasing, which is great. So the first thing to do is to commit, kind of like I did. It's like, I'm going to do it every day, kind of. But still kind of was pretty good. It still works. Like I still kind of do it every day and I'm experimenting with new stuff and nothing's beating this yet, by the way. So I'm still like moderately good at staying consistent. You want to use Facebook and Instagram. Don't worry about other platforms right now because Facebook and Instagram are the ones that can be automated. All right. The other ones, there's no easy automation. It's just Facebook and Instagram. Right now, they have the automation availability. Just start doing it. Don't overanalyze it. Your first post might not get any action. It doesn't matter. It's not going to explode. You're going to be okay. Some days will be good, some won't. I've got days where I'll like post something and I'll have like 5 leads. And then I'll have days where I'll post something, I'll get 1,000. No kidding. You just never know when something's going to work. And who cares, right? It's not like you have to go out and chop down the trees and make the post out of wood and, branches and everything. Like it's just, you're typing. It's easy. And then like keep going. Now, here's the big one. All right. But I don't have any followers. Nobody knows me. I've never made a post in my life. Great. Use groups. Yeah, groups. It is like the most unbelievably underutilized asset ever is Facebook groups. Private, public, doesn't matter. You do need to be a member of it in order to post in them, but who cares if it's private or public? Here's the thing about groups. They're freaking huge. We probably don't think they're huge because we're marketers and we're like, oh yeah, I've heard about that, and that's not new and shiny anymore. Therefore, it's not relevant. Oh, it's freaking relevant. The rest of the world's not marketers. Is to them, it's like part of their daily lives. To the point, and this is the most recent research I could find, incidentally, is as of 2022, there were over 10 million groups. There's got to be more by now, but let's just pretend there's only 10 million. And more than 1.8 billion people, this is according to Facebook, use Facebook groups every month. 1.8 billion people use them every month. And more than half of those people are in 5 or more groups. What are they in groups about? The stuff about how to get what they want. Like that's what everyone joins groups about. The theme of the group is how do I get this thing that I want? Everyone's in the high level group here because you want more customers and stuff. Like that's why you're in the group, right? So that's what all those folks are doing, just about their stuff that they're into. And by the way, not all groups are marketing groups. We think we have these opinions about how the world works based on the lens that we see it because we're marketers. And so like a big yeah but that I hear all the time is yeah, but I tried to post something in a marketing group one time and they wouldn't let me post it because it was promotional. It's like, okay, next. Most groups aren't like that, by the way. Marketing groups, people are like, oh, I'm going to be protective and I got to be the alpha person in here. Other groups, they don't care. As long as you're like valuable, it doesn't really matter. Just don't be obnoxious. So here's how to use groups. Sign into your Facebook business account. Yes, you need a Facebook business page. Um, if you don't have one, Google how to create a Facebook business page and make one. You must use business pages in order to automate stuff. There is, to my knowledge, no solution on the planet that will automatically respond to comments and stuff unless you're doing it through a business page. It must be done through a business page. If you're like, what do I call it? Just call it your name. That's what I call mine, my name. And if you've got one already and it's a different name, it doesn't matter. Just like use that one. You're going to be okay. All right. So sign into a business account and then go to facebook.com/groups and then search for groups by topic and you will find them. There are tons of groups about your topic. Join the group that you want to post in. It's not going to work unless you join it. So you have to join it. Usually by default, you have to get approved by the group administrator. That's just a default setting on Facebook. They're not like checking you out. It's just how the groups work. When you're admitted, make the post. All right. And your first post might take a day to get approved. It's okay. That's normal. All right. So if you do that for 10 groups, all right, some of them are going to work. Some of them won't. Some of them might not even let you post. It doesn't matter. Just go find another one. But get it for 10 groups, then you're going to be rocking. So Okay, dude, this makes sense, but there's like a gazillion groups. What do I do? All right, here's a little like various things that I've learned through the process here. At first glance, a group with a gazillion members would seem like this is the type of group I want to post in. It's got a ton of people in there. Not necessarily. You want to post in active groups. So when you're looking at Facebook groups, they will show you how many posts per day that group typically makes. Um, you want to go to the ones that have like the higher number there as opposed to the higher number of members. Because if they're not making a lot of posts every day, then no one's actually paying attention. They're not going to see your stuff. All right. So that's a big one. If the administrator rejects your post, it doesn't matter. Just go find another group. No one's going to freak out on you and try to get you. And keep trying to post in groups until you're able to post in 10 of them. You don't have to make a different post in each group, by the way. Same post, different groups. They're not all talking to each other. It doesn't show up on your Facebook page 10 times or anything like that. So you're good in that regard. I tested this and I tested it by going and finding groups about dog walking, just random. I know I'm weird. And I joined groups about dog walking and I made posts in them and I got leads from them, which was funny because I don't really work with, by default, professional dog walkers, but for whatever reason, I chose that because it was random. I wanted to prove that it could be done. So when you make the post, well, I'll show you how to do this tomorrow, but I just wanted to show you that like it's real. That image right there is actually an image from my post, and you can see the arrow where it's showing to 20 comments there in my screenshot. I don't know why I took a weird picture of the share thing. Those 20 comments are people commenting on my post that's got that little graphic in there. Ridiculous. It's awesome. So if you actually do it, you'll end up with more leads than you know what to do with if you stay consistent. I don't mean for like 10 years. This means like do it for a couple of weeks and see for yourself. It's not really that hard of a thing to do. Like if you got, let's say you're posting in 10 groups and you only get 5 leads per post. All right. So that's 50 leads per day if you do that. You're copying and pasting into the groups. You understand? It's not like, well, can you copy and paste and hit post 10 times on a daily basis? I think so. It's not really that hard. This is only if you get 5 leads per post. If you get 10 leads per post, it's 100 leads a day. If you get 20 leads per post, it's 200 leads per day. Here's the thing. Some days are going to be great. Some days not great. You just never know. It's like that with everything. So if you have a slow day, don't worry about it. And if you have an amazing day, don't think that every day is going to be amazing. Just understand that it's always, over time. So what we're looking for is over time, right? So but, what if I don't have any followers? Well, it's okay. If you don't have any followers, just post in groups. So this whole thing about like I'm going to start doing this after I get a bunch of followers and after I built my brand or whatever is the same logic as saying I'm going to start going to the gym after I lose a few pounds so I'll look better in my gym clothes. Like, well, how's that going to work? How are you going to lose the few pounds if you're not going to the gym? And it's like this, chicken egg thing. Like get out of your way, get out of your own way and start doing it. And then to turn these folks into customers, use this method. So this is critical. The definition of a lead has changed. All right, at least in my opinion, the definition of a lead has changed. The old way would be okay, if they submit a form on our webpage, they're a lead, right? And yes, they are, in fact. Now, because not everybody uses email all the time, a lead counts if it's any form of two-way communication at all, as long as you've got permission. So that could be text, it could be DMs, it doesn't matter. That person's a lead because they reached out to you, they expressed interest. So we've got that. Our field of the playing field is so much broader now. It's not only email, like email messaging, it's all the same. So you're good there. The old way is like you tell people what to do, like you go do this now. That used to work okay. People don't care for it anymore. The newer way to do this is to actually converse with people. All right. Like, hey, do you have any questions about that? Like, thanks for checking out my report about tomato gardening. I've got this course that helps you grow tomatoes in 30 days, without, I don't know, doing stuff that's bad. If you're interested, I'll send you the information. Yeah, sure, send it to me. Okay, here it is. Hey, did you like that? Do you have any questions? Yeah, what is it like? That's conversing. They like that. They don't like to be sold to. They like to be guided. All right. We don't want people pushing us. We're looking for guidance, not commandments here. The old way is one-way communication. The new way is two-way communication. This is so big, is to understand that when you reply to them and it's not a canned response, their brains are like, this is the most unbelievable person in the world. They actually responded to me. I love these guys. My term for it is asynchronous marketing, which means you're having a conversation back and forth, but it's not necessarily in real time. It might take you a couple hours before you respond to their message. That's okay. It might take them a couple days before they respond to yours. That's okay. If you keep doing it, it's good. So big picture, here's how it works. You post something on the social media. If you don't have any followers, put it in groups. Should be doing groups anyway, really. So like that's like the picture of it. And then in your post, you're like, hey, let me know if you want a free thing that's related to this post. And I'll send it over. Right. So they're like, okay. And they post something in your comments. Doesn't matter what they say. They just put something in the comments, send it, yes, whatever. All right. So now this is all automated, by the way, and it all looks weird because I have these yellow glasses on. It says, thanks for checking out my post. Here's my free stuff. You're connecting with them right there. Boom. Here you go. We have just made a two-way connection. All right. Now I'm got to have a little wider space here. Uh, Send it to them. They get it. Hey, what kind of gardening do you do? I want to grow tomatoes. Now this is where you can actually be like talking to them. All right. That, well, I've got more illustrations. They're out of line there, out of order. So, all right. Whoops. Ah, okay. So this is the converse part. All right. Where you're answering their questions. And this is the compel part where you're like, hey, do you want me to send you some information about this thing that I have? And they say yes. You're not telling them to go get the thing. You're not saying, hey, go check out my stuff that I have for sale. It's really awesome. Instead, you're leading with connection and value. Aren't you like, here's the free thing. Hope you like the free thing. By the way, I have this other thing if you might be interested. They are compelled to respond to you because of the value you've already established with them, the relationship there. So what happens is over time, you got two-way communication with this person that like doesn't happen immediately. Typically you have to go back and forth with a human a couple of times. It's normal. People are like that. We all are. So what ends up happening is they feel heard because you're like asking them if they have any questions. They do. You answer them. You're a real person. They feel understood. They feel like they have a real connection with somebody. And that's all very good. That's lacking thanks to AI. But they also, on a psychological level, have this sense of reciprocity. Like, okay, this person gave me something cool and it was actually valuable. You started out by giving them cool content for free on social media, just like helping them. Then you gave them your lead magnet, which is a thing of value, which is for free. And so now they kind of feel like they need to have some sort of reciprocity. The fact that you said, hey, I've got this tomato gardening course, and if you're interested, let me know. I'll send you the information. And they said, yeah, send me the information. They said they were interested. And then when they clicked on it, they took an action that was even closer to becoming a customer. And then when you asked them if they had questions and they did, and you answered them, now they're even farther down the line of their commitment to becoming a customer. So we are, as humans, we want to do what we imply or say that we're going to do. And they've implied or said that they want to become a customer. So that's working in your favor psychologically. Then there's consistency, where they want to be consistent with their actions. All right. So it all works great. If you rush it, you'll mess it up. So here's the thing. Um, Instead of going out and thinking like, I got to come up with a content strategy or whatever, like this is what I use. And this is very effective for me personally. This is a scorecard. All right. It, I have a target of I'm going to make one post every day, every weekday, and then I'll come and like check it. If I'd made the post and if I didn't make a post, then I'll put an X on there. And then I'll keep track of how many leads I got that day. And for the target here is like 10. And so, if I got 10, I'd put 10. If I got nine, I'd write nine. If I got 100, I'd write 100. And then did I follow up with them? Yes or no? And the automation does a lot of the follow up. But sometimes you need to follow up manually with people who have questions or whatever. That's what I mean in that part. Yes or no. And then you track how many sales you got. That's the whole system, right? I mean, that runs the entire show for me. I don't have any sort of complicated stuff. My brain doesn't process it well. I get overwhelmed. So that's the magic weapon. Here's the biggest obstacle in this. It is your mind. We will psych ourselves out of doing this and come up with all kinds of excuses and all kinds of questions and all kinds of ways to put it off. But that's really between where you want to be and where you are now. The biggest barrier between you getting there is right here, is what you're letting stop you from taking action. And that's it. So this concludes uh, our first day. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to actually show you how to use the techie stuff. Today I wanted to give you the big picture of how this works. Tomorrow, we're going to implement it and literally, like, set it up, and we'll see comment replies happening. You'll see leads coming in. It's pretty cool. But for today, I wanted to give you the foundation. So there we go. There was the foundation with these weird looking mono glasses. They help though, actually, so it's good.
Awesome, Frank. Frank, if somebody wants to take action today, they want to maybe stand out and give this a shot. What kind of remember we did it last time where you had them like here's what you could do now, screenshot it, throw it in the event chat. We'll look at it tomorrow. Do you have something that they can maybe jump on, maybe create some sort of post, or what are you thinking?
So here's what I challenge you to do. Make a post in general, even if it's your first post ever that you've ever made in your life, and just make a post about how they can get what they want. Make it a how-to post. And don't complicate it. Like, if you want to get more customers, here is the number one thing you should do. Put your offer in front of the right people. Here's how to find them, whatever it may be. Just make a single post and then offer them a lead magnet if they comment. Or if you don't even have a lead magnet, just ask for their feedback to see if they comment and engage. And we don't even care if they engage or not. We just want to see if it gets consumed. And yeah, I would encourage everyone to do that. So you can get out of your own yeah buts and what ifs. The process of doing it, you're like, oh man, that was nothing. You ever have something you think it's going to be a big deal, and then after it's done, you're like, oh, I totally like weirded myself out over that thing. That's what you should do, is like go make a post and see what happens. And I'll tell you, I don't know what we can give people. Um, we'll think of something cool. Like, I don't care what it is. Mine, y'all can have anything you want, but I don't want to do anything that could cause confusion. But we'll give you cool stuff. We'll announce the prizes tomorrow when we show the winners. But the first people to post screenshots of whatever post you made, and it's got to be after now, right? So it's 10:01 my time, Pacific time here. It's got to be after 10:01 on Monday. Uh, Post that in the group, and we'll choose the first 10 people that post, and we'll give you something cool. But you got to put a screenshot of your post though. It could be on your own business page. It could be in a group. It doesn't matter. It's just any form of content at all. It's like knock the rust off.
Awesome. Thank you. And Jordan from our community team is throwing the event link in the comments below. Upload it right into that events column. So that way it doesn't get lost in the daily chat or in our official community group. And we'll pull some winners tomorrow. Frank, for those that are going to watch the replay today, what could they expect showing up tomorrow? What are we jumping into tomorrow? And then tomorrow being our last day, what's the goal thereafter?
So what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to make content. So I will show you how to create the written content. We're going to find groups. So I'll walk you through like all of that. Here's how to find the actual groups. And we're going to install the snapshot. So I'm going to walk you through it sounds like it's hard. It's not. That's why we're doing it live. So you can actually see like, oh my God, this is really not that big of a deal. So we're going to plug all that stuff in, set it up. And we're actually going to let you guys see the content and see the whole system in action in real time tomorrow. So we'll set it up as you watch, and then we'll put a link to the content that we post in real time during the event here. And then you can go to it and comment on it, and you'll actually see the whole system in action. So we're doing it with the same tools that we're giving you. So the objective of tomorrow is to actually have the entire machine up and running. My mission today was just to get over the fear of, oh man, I don't have the credentials, or nobody knows me or whatever, and like turn that off and get okay, to hell with it. I'll just post them and let's see what happens. I wanted to turn that on so we can, go ahead and get some traction there.
Awesome. Well, Frank, if you guys have any questions for Frank, throw them in the comments below. We'll make sure to get some answers to you tomorrow. Frank, anything else we want to include here before we wrap this up and get to planning what we're going to give away tomorrow and making some tweaks to what we got here organized?
Yeah. So seriously, don't overthink this. It's really not that big of a deal. Like, of course, if you don't have anything at all to sell anybody and you don't have a business or whatever, then it's irrelevant. But if you have like actual stuff that can help people and you want to get it in front of people, just make some content today, post it with absolutely no concern about whether or not anybody sees it or responds to it or whatever. Just make it just so you can like have the experience of making it. And doing that one little thing is going to put you like to the, I forgot the football analogy because I played the nose guard. This is, they put guys like me who just run over the guy in front of you. That's all I know about football. So is it the 10-yard line? Whatever. It's going to put you really close to the finish line. Um, and it'll turn off all of that fear in your mind, So make that one post, quit overthinking this, and then tomorrow we'll show you like, oh, here's how to continuously make posts like this, and here's how to get them in front of the right people, and here's how to automate it, and we're actually going to do it in front of you tomorrow, so you'll be able to see it. And we're using the same automation that you have. And I have lost y'all. I think. Where'd you go?
No, we're here, man. We're
Oh,
just
good.
wrapping up. Look, y'all, thanks for joining us tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern. We'll be either on YouTube, Facebook, or the Facebook group, whichever you prefer. And we'll be getting into the technical end of it. So if you want to have your computer and maybe your tablet to the side and you want to install the snapshot, all of that will be available before we kick off the call. So you can get it up and running while we do it as well.
Dude, how do they get one-on-one help?
You
The
of
quick
course,
start call. What's the link
yeah,
for quick start? How do they go there?
it's in the comments below.
Oh, sweet. All right, awesome.
Yeah, we've been covered. Yeah, you scared me there for a Frank. Scared me there for a minute, Frank. We coordinated all this good stuff. If you need help, well, because they're not gonna. So if you need help with setting up your trial so that way you can install everything, jump on the Speak with Us success call link right in the comments. But tomorrow we'll be doing all the heavy lifting all together. So they're not gonna have the link for you. We're gonna give you the link tomorrow. So other than that, Frank, I'm out of here. You good if we close this out and we head out?
Yeah, man. Thank you all for coming, by the way. Please don't overthink it. Just make some stuff. You're going to be good. You'll see.
All right, y'all. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Bye bye.